Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Denver, Colorado. And as I promised my stamp club, I'm going to show you how to make this cute little birdhouse card today. Opens up like that and has that sweet, can you see it in there? That yellow didn't show up very well. But there you go. So that's what I promised them I would show them how to make this card. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about my stamp club. What we do is we get together once a month on Zoom, and if they can't make the Zoom meeting, then I make a video of the card so they can do it at their own leisure. But we make 2 cards together. So let me show you this month's cards. This month's card look like this and like this. Look how cute this is. Like that. So that was this month's cards, and then the third card I sent them looked like this. So we pick a bundle and we use it for 2 months, and then that way you learn lots of different ways to use that same stamp bundle. It's not too much of a burden on them, and usually they have all the supplies they need. All I do is send them the consumable items. And then the third card I make and send with them. Let me show you last month's cards. Let me show you. I thought they were really cute too. It looked like this is a little bit of punch art. So this, believe it or not, is the punch from the Songbird, or the, I should say, the cutout from the Songbird punch. And we made this card, which is a pop-up card like this. So that's usually what we do. I try to make it fun and interesting with fancy folds and new techniques. And like I said, we meet together. Oops, I need to put that together. Once on once a month on Zoom. All they have to do is commit for a 6 month or 7. I think we have 7 members this month. So it's a 7-month commitment, depending on how many members we have, and they place a $30 order before shipping and tax. I send them their packets, and we meet together. But enough. Let me show you. Now, I want to warn you, though, too. Some of the stuff that I used on this card comes from this catalog. Now, this catalog, May 1st, is no longer available. You can't get anything. Well, I shouldn't say there's carryover stuff that's in the new catalog, which I hope you've received in the mail already. But some of the stuff we've used in this, it's on the retired list. So you got to make sure you order if you want to make the card exactly like I did. May 1st is the last day you can get some of that stuff. Don't forget that's the same thing with the mini catalog. May 1st is the last day to order out of that. And some of the stuff, I should say, or let you know, is already gone. It's already sold out, so you can't get it anymore. Okay, there's my information talk. Now let's get to the card. Okay, so the measurements, all of them should be on my, will be on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. You just have to give me a few minutes after the video to go and get it posted. I do my video here live on Facebook, and then I post them on YouTube, and then when I'm posting on YouTube, I put all the dimensions and the supply list on my blog. And again, that's becreativewithkathy.com, and the link will be below, but you have to give me a few minutes to get my act together. Okay, I'll try to give you the right card measurements as we go along today, but many of you might know I'm not very good at that. So we're going to start, though. I know this is a half sheet of early espresso, so it's 4 1/4 inches wide and it's 11 inches long. And we're going to start by, getting this piece. Because we're going to do all 3 of these pieces at the same time. This is Mary Merlot. Now, Mary Merlot is another color that's going away. They did a color revamp, and Mary Merlot will only be available till May 1st, and then this is basic white. Both of these are 5 1/4 by 4, just your basic card layer. Okay, let's start with scoring this one. We're going to just take this one, and in half, we're going to score it in half, so at 5 1/2, and I'm going to use my lighter blade on my scoring trimmer thingy here, and I'm going to just score it there at 5 1/2. Then with a pencil, and you probably won't be able to see it, but I will, and you'll just have to trust me that it's there. I'm going to move my score line over here to 1 1/2 inches. Now you can check it out down here, because this is the 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, but I want to make sure my score line is at 1 1/2. And then I'm going to put a little mark up here at the top, and I'm just going to put my pencil through that blade trimmer thingy, this arm, I think that's what it's called. And geez Louise, point is long enough that I can just fit it right through there. I love these pencils. I get these at Walmart when it's seasonal. These must be the Valentine ones. They have hearts on them. Okay, let's do the same thing to the other side. So now I'm going to take that score line again. My tick marks are over here now. We just need to do the other one, so I'm going to line it up at 1.5, and I know it's 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1.5, so I'm in the right place. And just put little tick marks here. And then I'm going to take those tick marks, one on this side and one on this side, and line them up with that lane for my blade. And I'm going to score it here like this. Now, if you're getting ready to score and you don't see that score line that we did the first one at 5.5 in the center there, then you've done something wrong. Stop, erase your pencil marks, and do them again. You should see your score line right there in the center. But I'm going to go ahead and score it there, and then I'm going to turn it and line up those other 2 marks, and I'm going to score it there. So now, when we're all done, we should have it scored like this. And I hope you can see it, yep, with that score line meeting right in the center like that. There we go. Okay, let's work on these 2 pieces. First thing we want to do is find the center. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, so the 4-inch side's up here, so I have it at 2, and I'm going to just put a little tick mark here. And then I'm going to put this at 1 1/2, and I'm going to put a little tick mark here, and a little tick mark here. And then let me do the same thing to this piece. So I'm going to line it up at 2 inches here, a little tick mark here at the top, put it at 1 1/2, and a tick mark here. And just so you know, I can't even remember who I've got my measurements from. This Birdhouse card has been out there for a long time. So if I knew who to give credit, who invented it in the very first thing, I would, but it's not a card that's new in this area whatsoever. Card making like this has been around for a long time. But now you can see at the top here, I have these little tick marks. I'm going to line them up again with the little track there of my blade. And this time I'm going to use the darker blade, and I'm going to just cut that off. I'm going to cut that point like that. And then I'm going to do the exact same, whoops, I lost my tick marks if I turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So I have them lined up in my little blade there. You can see them through. And now we have a piece that looks like that. We're going to do the same thing to this one. The white, you might even be able to see my little tick marks on camera. But you see through there how I've lined them up, and then I'm going to just cut that off and line it up again and cut that off to get that point so it looks like that. Okay, I think we're done with the paper trimmer. Let's go ahead and fold this one. So I'm going to fold it along this center mark here first, making sure I get my line or my side straight here, and they look pretty good, and then take a bone folder to that fold there. So now we have that there. Then I'm going to take this one here and fold it along this way, and then this score line here and fold it this way. Now when you take this and you push those 2 sides in, I'm going to fold it down. I'm going to make sure again that my sides here are lined up so it has a nice appearance, so it looks like it's, and give that a really good fold. Okay, now this might bother you. My tick marks, I can see them here, right? And you can see them here. If they really bother you, which I guess one side does more than the other, let me find an eraser. I don't think this eraser is going to work. And no, here it is. It's right here. Yep, here's my eraser. I thought my eraser wasn't around. But I'm going to just erase those little tick marks. On the other 2 pieces, we'll turn it over so the tick marks will be on the back, and you won't be able to see it. So there we go. Looks just like that. Now that's the beginning or the base of our birdhouse. And now that you've noticed, since we've cut these this way, this one's going to fit in here just right. And this one's going to fit on the front. Now, the reason that on the front of my card I put these little things here is to just hide. If it doesn't look good up here, you'll see, I don't know, if it doesn't come out perfect when you fold it and stuff, you can just cover up those with these little strips of paper like that. Okay, now we need to do some die cutting. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to start with this piece. These, the dies that I'm going to use, are called the layering circle dies. Now these, much to my sad, are on the retired list. So if you don't have these, you got to make sure you get them. Everybody needs circle dies. Like I said, they're on the retiring list. They'll only be available through May 1st. And I did check this morning. They're still available as of right now. But I have two here. Let me see if I can try to figure out which ones they are. So 1, 2, 3. So I think it's the 4th and the 5th from the smallest, or the 4th and the 5th from the largest, if I counted right. You'll have to kind of just look at it and see what you think. But I'm going to bring in my die cut machine here. And I'm going to go platform number 1. I hope you can see that. Plate number 2. And then my totally chewed up plate number 3, which is my clear cutting plate. I'm going to take that Mary Merlot and lay it down, and the larger of the 2 layering circles that I have here. And I'm going to just guess. I think the front of my house should be about there. It looks pretty centered. If not, I can make the leaves and the birds cover up my blemishes and whatnot. And then on top, oh, believe it or not, here, I have a brand new cutting plate. My old one was getting warped, so there we go. So let's run this through like this. And then I'm going to push this back just because it's easier for me to do it this way. So now we have the larger hole in the red there. And then I'm going to take my brown, and I'm going to unfold it and slip it through my machine and lay. I might have to use some washi tape. Let's do some washi tape just to hold it in place so it doesn't move. Because I want to layer these so you can see that little black or little brown spot in front. So if we lay this to where it looks good, I think it looks good like that. Take our smaller die here and lay that right in the center, just like that. I think I'm taping down this way. Try to cover more of that area that we don't need, so if it sticks to our paper, it's still okay. Let's see how I did. Drum roll, ready? And then we're going to lay this on top and then run that through the machine again. We're going to need that machine one more time, so I'm going to just set it real close. But now, when you take this piece off, very gently with that washi tape so it doesn't tear my paper. There we go. Now you have the front of the little birdhouse with that ring around there. It looks really good. I did really good. I like that one. Okay, now this one needs a little bit of texture in it. So this time I'm going to take my platform number 1, my Timber 3D embossing folder. Just set my paper in there. I think I want my wood grain to go up and down like this. Lay that on there, and then I'm going to put my cutting, nope, not this cutting pad, that's the wrong one. Then we need number 4. So it goes 1 cutting or embossing folder and then plate number 4. Excuse me. And then we're going to run this through our machine. Love this guy. Okay. And then we have a piece of cardstock that looks like this. So look how now it has that nice texture on it, like that. Okay, now we're all done. I think that's it with the cutting machine. I did the rest of the die cutting for us, so we should be ready to go. Let's go ahead and put this onto the front of our card. And I'm going to use just a little bit of liquid glue. Let me see which texturing I like better. Do I like this texture? I think I like this side better. So I'm going to glue this side, making sure that I put liquid glue or some kind of adhesive around that circle so it doesn't buckle when I put it onto my card. And I like to use the liquid glue with embossing for 2 reasons. So it doesn't smash out that pretty embossing I just did, and this way I can slide it into place and make sure that it has a nice border around here. Now remember, the top up here we're going to cover up, so if the top doesn't look too good, that's okay, we can fix that. But I want to make sure that these three sides and that circle here, and maybe if I put this in there, it's easier to see there. Look, now you can see that nice early espresso border around my circle. Okay, so to get these two pieces here at the top of our birdhouse, I just took a piece of Sahara sand cardstock, ran it through my die cut machine just like I did before, and I used our scallop contour dies. What are these? Oh, there we go. Yep, scallop contour dies. They're not just frames, they can also be edgings for your birdhouse. I like that little scallop with the stitching on there, so I took it just like that, and I'm going to take my paper trimmer, this, and I'm going to line up, let me think, this, let me get something I can show you. I have terrible fingernails. That doesn't have a pointy on it. This has somewhat of a pointy on it, but I'm going to line up this bump here and this bump here, right? And I'm going to cut it right there. Let's get rid of that one. Along there, so I can see it through. It's going to be a nice cut straight, and then looky there. Now we have one side. Let's do this to the other side. Same thing, we're just going to cut it, make sure it's straight, and now we have two pieces. Now hang on to this, we're going to use this too, but now we have those two pieces. Whoop, wrong card. This one, Kathy. And we're going to just lay that this way on our house. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my card, that way I know exactly where I need it, and it won't make a sticky mess on my table. I keep putting it on the wrong side on my table here, and I can't do two things at once. So I'm going to cover up that edge, just make sure it looks good, make sure it's straight here on the edge. There we go. And then with just a little bit of paper snips, I'm going to just trim that off. And there we go. Let's do it again to the other side. Use that glue, make sure it's all straight, and then trim that off there. Okay, and just like that, we have our birdhouse all made. Now it's time is just to do some embellishment. So let's do some stamping first on this piece. I'm going to bring in my Pierce mat because I'm going to use, oh, well, first I'm not, because I'm going to stamp that happy birthday first. And this happy birthday down here at the bottom came from Go To Greetings. Love this stamp set. It has every greeting on there. Well, it has a few greetings in different sizes. I think that's what I like about it, is you can find the right greeting in the right size. But I'm going to just ink up here that happy birthday. I should practice once on a piece of scratch paper. Let's see what we got here. Yep, okay. Now, down here at the bottom, making sure that it's not going to show through the hole in my birdhouse. So I'm going to put it pretty low. I'm going to stamp happy birthday right there. And I'm going to hold it there just a second, let the ink sink in. Now you've noticed that I've made sure that my tick marks back here are on the back. I don't want them to show on the front. Or like I said, you could erase those and that would work too. While we have our yellow out, which is crushed curry. I don't think I told you that one. On a piece of scrap white. What did I do? Here it is, just a piece of scrap white. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my bird and that wing on there. So I have it here, my bird. And now, so my bird matches my punch. I'm going to bring in my punch so I can kind of see about how to angle him. And I keep tapping him. I'm going to kind of put him at a little bit of an angle like this. I think that's how he works best. We'll see in just a minute if I'm correct. And then in that same color, I'm going to just stamp my little wing this way. That's better. There we go. While I have him here though, I'm going to quickly bring in some black Memento ink and just stamp that little bird's eyes. And I'm going to practice once real quick, just right here. Yeah, I should have just went ahead and just stamp his little eyes right there. We don't want a blind bird. We want our bird to see what's going on. Okay, let's punch everything out. So I'm going to take first and just punch that little wing out. Set it aside where I can find it again. Move this and punch him out. That looks pretty good. You know what? I think this little corner is keeping me from getting him lined up where I want him. That's better. There we go. Now we have our little bird and we have our little wing. Okay. That's all the yellow. Let's do some stamping on that Sahara sand. I'm going to bring in Sahara sand ink. Now, I've talked to you about Sahara sand is one of the colors that didn't make it into the new catalog, so it's on the retired list. And I looked at this morning and it's still available, so you can still get the Sahara sand ink pad. But come all those colors that have retired recently, or like within the past 5 years, I guess, I kind of hung on to them all to see what would be in the new colors, and now all those colors that retired, like for instance last year's in colors, I think it was Just Jade, Bumblebee, stuff like that, I have all put on my blog on my for sale items. So if you're interested in any of the old colors that aren't available anymore, they're not on the retirement right now, they've already retired a long time ago, you can get those. The shipping is included in the price. If you have any questions, you just let me know. Again, you go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com, and they're all under shop now, sale items there. If you have any questions, be sure and let me know. Also, while I'm talking about that, I just want to thank everybody that went in and purchased those color coaches that I just made. I was shocked at the turnout I had and how interested everybody was at my color coaches. In fact, I went ahead and put last year's on there. I don't know if anybody still has, you know, last year's colors. It includes all the in colors that were in the 2022 through 2023 catalog. So if you're interested in those, I put those under color coaches on my blog too. Okay, that's enough talk about that. We're going to stamp that down. I don't know if I got my head in the camera, I apologize. But now I stamped this little sign here, and a little bird told me in Sahara sand and then in Memento black ink. And I'm going to just fussy cut that real quick. And so you know too, I guess I should tell you, is I have already replenished the color coaches. So if you go in there to get a color coach and they're sold out, just give me a couple days, or really let me know, and I will work on them and get them replenished as soon as I can. I think a color coach is a wonderful tool to have in your stamp room. Okay, so now we have the sign, we have the little bird. We just need a little tiny beak. So again, I just got some pumpkin pie cardstock here, and I'm going to just punch out a little beak there for my bird. And then of course we need those stems, which I'm going to just take this punch, and I'll be doggone if I can remember what that's called. But we're going to just punch out some leaves here, or stems. And then I think we're done. Oh, we just need to stamp our greeting up here, which says, "It's your special day," and I'm going to stamp that in that Mary Merlot ink to try to bring in the color of that birdhouse into the front or inside of our card. And there again, I want to make sure that it's, wrong card, it's stamped so it doesn't show through the circle here. So I'm going to make sure I stamp it up here toward this point here. And that way I know that point is above the circle. I'm going to practice one time again really quick. And I'm going to bring in my Pierce mat again. Okay. Just right here, I'll try to get it straight. Try not to get my head in the camera. Let's see how I did, if you can see it through the... Nope. So far, so good. Look, you can't see anything. Although I don't really have it centered very well. But yeah, so far, so good. Okay, and then last and not least, of course, we need to put those musical notes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down on the inside of my card with just a little bit of tape runner here. And I'm going to run out of tape. Oh, maybe not. I do have extra roll here just in case, or a refill in case. But I'm going to, again, worry more about lining up the bottom. I think you'd notice the bottom more than you'd notice the top up here. There we go. Now, yeah, it's going to look good. With a little bit of black memento ink, I'm going to just stamp these little musical notes right here along there. Since a little bird told me, of course, he's whistling to me. Where did my little musical notes go? Here they are. And this one I really want to practice with. I'm going to practice once on here. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to take my time and make sure I do a good job, because I can't take that paper and turn it over now. I've already attached it to my card base. But looky there. And if you hold your stamp there and let that ink sink into the paper, 9 out of 10 times, you'll get a really nice image like that. Okay, let's put down some stems. I'm going to use liquid glue again. Just a little bit of glue here on the back. Maybe. Okay, maybe we're going to get a glue dot out. Really? Okay, no, I'm not patient enough for that. We'll just use a glue dot. So I'm going to put a couple on here where you can't see them so it doesn't show. Oh, and then guess what? I ran out of glue dots too. Heavens to Murgatroyds. All right, here, let's try something even different. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat, and I'm going to just run some tape along here. Then I can cover that tape, wrap that tape to the back. Brother. And I'm going to just lay one little leaf about there. Do the same thing with this one. There we go. That worked just as well as the glue. And then lay him down. Just cross it so it's right at the base there. My little sign here, I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals. Leave that down here. That, and then assemble the little bird. Now I got to get the glue out because I don't, well, let's try it, huh? Let's put a little bit of tape here. I'm going to hold it with my take a pick tool and put a little tape here on the bird's beak. With the silicone mat, the glue doesn't stick and you can kind of wrap it around the back. I don't know if you could see that or not, but it's not sticky on the front, it's only sticky. And look, it did work just fine. With a little bird, we'll put the little wing on there the same way. Maybe. What a mess. Make sure your adhesive is all set before you start a video. That'd be note to self. Okay, and then to put my little bird on here, I want to pop him up, so I'm going to put dimensionals over here around the window like this. That way I know that it won't touch the inside of our window, and my little bird can sit right about there. Yep. Making sure my dimensionals don't show, and there you go. So after all of that work, after all of those messes, that's how I made all my third card, or the third card for my card club. Alrighty, if you have any questions, be sure and let me know. Leave a comment here. Of course, I've always asked, if you like my channel, if you like what you see, please subscribe, share, comment, everything you can just to support my little YouTube channel or my Facebook page. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.